Hello and welcome back to Modalities Movement Therapy. Today we are going to be getting fascially fit for squats. For the workout, you're going to need a high density myofascial peanut. If you don't have one of these, put 2 tennis balls inside a sock and securely fasten the sock so they stay together. The second piece of equipment you're going to need is a soft reflex ball. We're going to start in standing, and I just want you to begin by testing your range of movement in your squat position. Feel what happens in your feet. Do the feet roll in? Do the knees roll in? What happens in the hips? Remember, this line of the body, everything is connected. So make sure to understand what's going on in your body so that you can prepare yourself to release those areas so you can improve your range of movement in your squat position. So start off with that soft reflex ball, and I want you to imagine it's a bug. You're squishing a bug with your foot. So it's soft, so you're going to apply a lot of pressure and then move into that roll. So pushing and rolling that ball along the entire length of the foot. Move it to the lateral side, but mostly you're going to focus on the inside of the leg. Let's try and pick that ball up with the toes. So you're going to open up those toes and lift. If you can't pick the ball up with the toes, then just wrap the toes around the ball and try and spread the toes out as much as you can. So you're going to pick that ball up if you can. But just by widening those toes, creating space between the toes, you're already loosening up the feet and strengthening those muscles. Remember, there's a strong fascial connection, a sensory connection between the feet and the brain. So like we can move our hands around, we've almost lost that connection between the feet and the brain because they're constantly in shoes. So we want to try and strengthen that sensory connection. Move into that roll, push down and move the ball across. And then when you're ready, spread your toes out and pick the ball up, if you can. Otherwise, you're just opening up the toes. And finish off a few more. Now we're going to bring the ball just between the ankles, so underneath the ankle bones, should I say between the heels. Squeeze the ball, activate your glutes, remember they're part of your core, and then you're going to lift and lower the heels. So you can use your breathing, nice slow steady inhalation through the nose as you come off the heels, and exhale. Squeezing that ball, we want to release the deep core line that runs from the big toe all the way up the inside of the leg. So squeeze that ball and release that deep core line. Do another 2 and another 1. Put that ball to the side. And now you're going to take your foot onto the peanut. Bring your other foot close-ish to the peanut. And now starting with the knee bent, we're going to bounce into that movement. So stretching up the back of the leg, bouncing forward. Try lift the toes as much as you can. But if you've got a lot of tightness in that Achilles tendon up the back of the leg, then just relax the foot, but feel that stretch into the calf. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you're going to lengthen that knee and you're going to push into the peanut again. So the position of the foot on the peanut is sort of spread out from one side to the other. So you want to try and just balance the foot on either side. 4 more, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do the same thing to the other side. So step that other foot close-ish to the peanut, and you're going to sort of bend with a bent knee and pulse into that stretch. Keep going. Another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now lengthen, and you're going to pulse into that stretch with a straight knee. Bring the other foot closer if you need to. You'll feel that stretch increasing. Keep going. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Continuing with the feet, the foundation of our body, step to the back of your mat and start moving forward with toe crawls. 1 foot at a time, pinch the mat between the ball of the foot and the toes and move yourself to the front of your mat. Then push up onto the balls of the feet, keeping your knees locked, lifting up in the core. Walk back to the starting point and repeat those movements 1 foot at a time. There is a strong and powerful sensory connection between the feet and the brain. The feet are densely packed with sensory receptors that constantly relay information to the brain. Now we're going to continue moving the feet. Push the big toes down into the mat. Use your hands to assist and be aware of that movement, that connection between the brain and the feet. You want that message to get down, and if you need to help get that message across, use your fingers. The feedback loops us to adjust posture, balance, and movement with precision. Every step we take is a message to the brain. Tuning into the sensory input from the feet awakens full body awareness, proprioception, integration of movement, and a deeper mind-body connection. Keep going. Alternate the big toe, then lifting the little toe, lifting the big toe, pushing the little toes down into the mat, and alternate from side to side. You're keeping the knees locked, squeezing the glutes to activate the core muscles, helping you with your posture. Now we're going to step 1 foot in front of the other. Again, this is a nice postural movement. You should feel the back foot working hard to stabilize you. Relax your shoulders. Look ahead. When you're in a nice lifted posture, you'll find it a lot easier to activate those core muscles. And when you're ready, you're going to change feet and use your breathing. Bring yourself into that diaphragmatic breathing, a nice slow and steady breath. Breathe in for about 4 counts and exhale for a little bit longer than 4 counts if you can. The feet are our roots. When we reawaken their sensory intelligence, we anchor the brain in the present moment, grounded, stable, and alive. We're now going to focus on this lower half of the spine of the sacrum. So we're going to bring the peanut right down and we're going to sit on it. So just come into a seated position on the peanut. And again, just position the peanut quite low down, your hands behind you, and we're going to just roll the peanut next to the tailbone, up and down. Use your breathing as well to help. I'd like you to continue with that movement up and down on either side of the sacrum. Bring a little bit of arching and tucking into the movement. As you breathe in, you arching. As you exhale, you're coming into a tuck. Now we're going to move on to one buttock. So you're going to rotate the peanut so it's parallel to the spine, just on one buttock to start with. And you're going to drop that knee out. So move down the lateral side of the leg. Still in that seated position, open up across the chest with your hands behind you and roll that peanut from the spine towards the lateral side of the leg. Do the same thing on the other side. So just sit on that peanut and rotate that knee out. So you're opening up in the hip and dropping the knee. Try and get that peanut along the lateral side of the leg. Any tension, just hold the peanut on that spot and you can bounce the knee down. Let's release the pectoral muscles now. So take that reflex ball and focus on opening up across the chest. Bring the ball underneath your pectoral muscle. Rest your forehead on the other hand, so make a fist. And now you're going to circle the arm up, palm is facing down. Then exhale as you circle that arm down next to the body, palm facing up. Breathe in and exhale. Nice, slow and steady movements. If you prefer to use that peanut, getting a little bit deeper, and you can get right onto the arm as well with the peanut. Continue, use the same movement, breathing in as you extend up and exhale as you circle down. Gentle stretching and pressure used in myofascial release mechanically stimulates the collagen producing cells, those fibroblasts. So these fascial releases will help us open up in those movements, postural positions, help keep us nice and extended in the spine, opening up across the chest. Finish off, and now you're going to keep the palm facing up and lift that hand up to the ceiling. Keep breathing and moving into that lifted position. Now adjust the peanut so you're still on the biceps, so that in line with the thumb on the front arm line. Bring your knee into a gecko position, your opposite knee, and now you're going to roll up and down from the elbow towards the shoulder. This is a great one as well for tennis elbow, any pain or discomfort in that elbow. Now we're going to rotate around and we're going to repeat the releases to the other side. Releasing the pectoral muscles from a fascial perspective is important for several interconnected reasons, structurally, neurologically, and functionally. These pectoral muscles can become short and sticky from poor posture. So this will pull the shoulder forward, limiting scapular mobility and disrupting upper body alignment. Fascial release can restore shoulder freedom and help rebalance tension across the chest, the neck, and the upper body. If this area is tight, it will also restrict movement in the rib cage and the upper thoracic area. The pectoral fascia links into the front of the rib cage. When we release it, we allow for more expansive breathing, especially helpful for accessing the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles between the rib cage that are attached to the diaphragm. Gentle fascial release will down-regulate tension and help the nervous system feel more open, grounded, and safe. We are now going to release the area close to the elbow, and something like tennis elbow often isn't caused by the elbow itself, but by chronic tension in the fascial lines of the forearm, the shoulders, and even the chest. The fascial web connects these areas. We are now going to release that deep psoas muscle. Bring the peanut between the belly button and the hip bone. Top of the peanut in line with the belly button, and the bottom of the peanut inside the hip bone, in the area we call the iliac dungeon, or slightly closer towards the spine. You're going to lie in that position, resting your forehead on your hands, and breathe into the peanut. So a nice deep diaphragmatic breath, breathing in slowly for about 4 counts and exhaling for 4 to 6 counts. Try and exhale for a little bit longer so you can really feel the activation in those core muscles, and that release, getting a bit deeper into it. The psoas connects the lumbar spine to the femur, running deep through the belly and pelvis. It's not just a hip flexor, it's a core anchor. When the fascia across and around the psoas gets tight or stuck, it can pull the spine forward, compress the lower back, and distort posture from the inside out. You're now going to, judging by how you're feeling in that position, bring your foot into your hand and wiggle the foot from side to side. So just massaging a little bit deeper into that area, unless it's taking your breath away. If you find it's taking your breath away, then you can continue with the leg extended and the hand underneath the forehead. Progressing a little bit further, you can flex that foot, sole of the foot parallel to the ceiling. Take the knee up off the mat and breathing as you bounce that knee up. If you are feeling too much tension in the lower back, your glutes are not activating, the lower back is taking over, then you shouldn't lift that knee off the mat. Just keep the leg bent and rock the foot from side to side. Continue with your breathing. Now pushing up off that peanut, you're going to sit back into your child's pose and work into your breathing again. A nice slow, steady breath in and out through the nose. Breathe in and come up onto the hands and knees, rock around, and repeat that release over to the other side. Belly button and hip bone. Position the peanut inside that hip bone. Move it around until you feel you've got that sweet spot where you're going to get the most release. Relax your forehead on your hands and breathe into the peanut, getting deeper into that release. Each time you exhale, continue and take your time with your breath. The psoas muscle, a hip flexor, plays a crucial role in squatting and can become tight, impacting squat depth and form. Releasing this muscle through fascial release can improve flexibility, range of motion, and potentially reduce pain during squats. Squats are one of the most beneficial movements for the body because they engage multiple systems at once: muscular, fascial, nervous, and even respiratory. When you're ready, bring that foot into your hand, rock the foot from side to side. Continue with your breathing. If you have too much tension in the lower back, then rather keep the leg in an extended position and focus on activating those glutes. Then you can release the hand back under the forehead and lifting that knee up off the mat. You're going to continue with your breath. The other option is to keep the knee on the mat and point and flex your toes. So find what option suits you best. Try and progress and get a little bit deeper into the release. But listen to your body. And any tension, pain in the lower back, you keep the knee on the mat. The best thing to help you ease into these movements is your breath. A nice slow and steady breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Trying to get a little bit further, so a longer exhalation as you pulse that knee up off the mat. Releasing the peanut, you're going to push back into your child's pose. And again, a slow, steady, diaphragmatic breath, feeling those intercostal muscles expanding as you breathe in. Rest your forehead on your hands if you can't reach your forehead to the mat. From your child's pose, come up onto the hands and knees and then push up into a pyramid or down dog position. Lift the knee, open up the hip. Now come forward and swing the knee from side to side. You're coming into what's called a pigeon pose in yoga, and either on the hands or you can drop down onto the elbows. You're going to wiggle the hips from side to side, just loosening up in the hips. Then in this position, you're going to position the heel onto the pubic bone and you're going to rest your forehead on your hands. You're going to lock your knee, squeeze your glutes, and activate your hip flexor by lifting that leg up off the mat, breathing in as you do so and exhaling as you drop. Again, you're going to try and breathe in and hold it up for 4 counts. And exhale for 4 to 6 counts. Do that a few times, about 4 times, and exhale as you release. Then you're going to push back up and again walk through the feet. Rotate around to the other side and into the down dog position. We're going to repeat the pigeon pose and the hip flexor activations to the other side. Wiggle those hips from side to side. Drop down onto your elbows if you want to. And then pubic bone, you're putting the heel underneath it. Lock that extended leg, lock the knee, breathe in and pulse the knee up, release. And repeat that a few times. Once you've repeated that hip flexor activation, then push back up into your pyramid or down dog. Walk through the feet a few times. And come back down onto your hands and knees. Taking your peanut, we're going to bring the peanut onto those muscles that retract the shoulder blades, the rhomboids. So rotate into a supine position. Peanut on the rhomboids, sort of around about the just above the base of the shoulder blades. Head is resting in the hands. Link the fingers so you're supporting the head. And we're breathing into that arch. And as you exhale, try and keep a space between the chin and the chest. And use those core muscles. As you exhale, you're going to really come into that concentric contraction, pushing the lower back down into the mat. Once the lower back is in the mat, you can lift the feet if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more. Exhaling, tuck. One foot at a time if there's any strain in the lower back. Breathing in. But the most important thing is to push that lower back down into the mat. Then alternate the feet. Breathing in, exhaling, and opening up. So play around with your position. You can run the feet a little bit, which will be a nice challenge on the core muscles. Breathing in, exhaling. Lift both feet if you want to, and continue moving into these arches and tucks. And you should feel the peanut rolling up and down on either side of the spine slightly, just around that area. Exhaling, getting into a nice abdominal contraction. Focus on that exhalation for a little bit longer. Make sure that lower back stays in the mat when your feet are in that lifted position. And only once the feet are down, then you breathe into that arch position. Keep going, breathing in and out through the nose. Once you've repeated that a few times, rock up to a seated position. We're now going to work around the sacrum again. So lower back onto the mat, lift your tailbone and position the peanut below the hip bones on either side of the spine. Knees over hips, and the peanut is positioned slightly higher up than when we were sitting on it. As you breathe in, the peanut will roll up. As you exhale, push the knees to the ceiling and the peanut will roll down. Breathing into your arch and exhaling to your tuck. Continue with your breathing and with that movement. The sacrum connects the pelvis and the lumbar spine, so releasing tension here can help reduce lower back pain, SI joint dysfunction, and hip tightness. Because we spend a lot of time sitting, this is a great way to help with pelvic imbalances, or if you experience sciatica, there are a lot of nerves that run down the legs around about this area. So this can help release that neural tension. Continue with that breathing, nice slow and steady breath. Once you've repeated that a few times, release the feet onto the mat and position the peanut underneath the base of the skull along the occiput ridge. Here you're going to hold onto each side of the peanut and you're going to shear the head from side to side. So remain in contact with the peanut and slide your head. This is a bony process, but it's often a very sensitive area and carries a lot of tension. Release the peanut. Have a good stretch and yawn. When you're ready, hug your knees to your chest and rock up to a seated position. We are now going to move into a plank positions. So come onto your elbows, relax your hands, and curl your toes under if you can, otherwise you stay on your knees. In this position, just focus on the breathing and move into a dynamic movement. Now we're going to try and challenge the body by bringing the peanut underneath the thigh, so just above the knee on the right side. Let's start on that side and move forward and back. Now if you can, you challenge yourself a little bit more by crossing the left ankle over the right. And this is a lovely movement to challenge the entire core, not just the abs, including the transverse abdominal muscles, the obliques, the lower back, and even the pelvic floor. And the more you breathe diaphragmatically, the more you're going to engage that diaphragm and into the pelvic floor. This movement builds deep functional strength that supports posture and everyday movements. Repeat that and challenge yourself with quite a long repetition. Take a break if you need to. And when you're ready, you're going to move over to the other side. Start off on the elbows, on the knees, and if you can, you're going to move up into that extended plank and just start off pushing your weight into your heels. Then take hold of that peanut if you can, and you're going to bring it underneath the left thigh just above the knee and move dynamically into that plank, remembering to breathe slowly in and out through the nose. A plank position, strengthening your muscles in this position, will help hold you upright, especially around the spine and the pelvis. It will help reduce forward head posture, rounded shoulders, and an overly arched or tucked pelvis. So engaging those glutes, those core muscles, will help you stay lifted in the center. And although this is a core movement, planks can also help recruit shoulders, glutes, quads, and feet. Sitting back into your child's pose, you can open up the knees and keep the feet together. Rest your forehead on the mat, or you can bring your hands underneath your forehead and focus again on your breathing. When you are ready, breathe in and come back onto your hands and knees. Push up to your pyramid or down dog position. Open up your feet wide and walk through the feet, wiggling the hips. Then bring your feet together. Walk your hands up to your feet, lifting one foot off the mat. And now you're rising up and down off that heel, challenging the muscles in the feet, in the ankle. Bend your knee and repeat the lifts. Relax your head. Look at your knee and continue rising up. Now release the heel, breathe in and uncurl. You're going to repeat the same thing. You're going to roll down through the spine and then change legs. Start off with a straight knee lifting and lowering the heel. And try relax your head as much as you can. When you're ready, again, you're going to bend your knee and lift that heel a little bit higher. Repeat it 8 times. And again, when you're ready, release that heel. Breathe, release your hands, breathe in and uncurl through the spine. Roll down again. And position both feet on the mat side by side. Relax your hands, just bounce into that release, breathe in and uncurl through the spine. We're coming back into those squats. We tested that squat in the beginning, and I want you to see and feel how that squat has changed. Make sure you're breathing in as you squat down and exhale as you come up. How do your hips feel? How do your knees feel? Are your feet more relaxed in that position? Continue breathing into that squat as you go down and exhaling as you come up. If you are taking any strain in the knees, then you make that movement smaller. We're going to take it a little bit further, and I want you to try challenge yourself by rocking onto your knees, uncurling your toes, sitting back onto your haunches, and then reversing that movement. Any strain in the knees, in the feet, listen to your body and just continue with those squats. But as you get stronger, try and challenge your balance to introduce this movement. This is a great movement to strengthen feet, knees, and hips. For running, very beneficial for that. Repeat this movement as many times as you can, and always remember to breathe into your squat position and continue to activate that diaphragm. Once you're done, shake everything out, give your feet a good wiggle, loosen up. Well done, and thank you for joining me. If you found this content useful, please subscribe to my channel and find in the comments section below the links to the equipment that we have used. Any other feedback or questions that you have, please don't hesitate to add them into the comments section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Well done again, and thank you for joining me.